Hello everyone and welcome back to Sudden Wealth. I hope you guys are doing very well. If you do enjoy the content, please consider dropping that like and subscribe. It greatly helps the channel, so thank you very much for your support. So, stock market at new all-time highs. Pretty much across the board, the exception being the Russell 2000. We know why. Business cycle is low, yields are still far too high, and the Russell 2000 is highly dependent on lower yields, particularly when it touches bank financing. So that is to be expected. We see the dollar coming down, which is very positive for liquidity. We see yields coming down, bonds going up, which is very positive for liquidity, and oil prices have been stable, which is also very positive. So in a sense, all the big drivers of liquidity and price action are very good. You see that in the stock market, you see that in the gold prices as well. By the way, I always find this funny about Peter Schiff and the likes being so happy about gold. You see, what you have to do is you cannot just look at gold price nominally. So you cannot look at, oh, gold was 1900 in 2011 and it's now 3700 or whatever, right? So basically 14 years later. And the reason why I measure it from the top is because all the gold bugs talk about Bitcoin being underperforming here and there from its top. So I do the same principle, right? So you are consistent in that sense. And what happens is when you adjust the gold price for the money supply plus the CPI, which you should do, because basically you need to adjust for the money supply going up. Why? Because that's where you see asset price inflation. And for the CPI, because that's where you see consumer price inflation. So you're trying to see where you're at real value. So basically, if you bought gold in 2011, how much would it need to rise for you to break even? Not even to make money, just break even. The answer is $6,500 if you compare it to the 2011 top, and $54,000 if you compare it to 1980s top. So that's why gold bugs are extremely obsessed with inflation. And when they say inflation, they actually mean asset price inflation and consumer price inflation. So that's the M2 and the CPI. For everything except the price of gold. Silver I'm not going to mention because silver is down nominally, not even inflation adjusted, so it doesn't even matter. But that's the reason why they talk about everything inflation adjusted except the price of gold. So in case you were wondering, that means that gold needs to kind of almost double from here just to break even from 2011 top. So that's why I don't waste any time with it. So that's one. Then in terms of stocks, we know the story. What happened to all the people that were incredibly bearish? They all disappeared, as usual. All the people that were making these 1929 predictions, they've all been extinct again. But I can tell you that as soon as you have a 10% correction, they will all be back again. Because they're obsessed, for some reason, with inflation, with depressions, with collapses, with whatever you want to call it. And they fail to see the difference in dynamics, which is the big difference from now and the past, is that the governments and central banks are actively devaluing the currency. And since the assets are priced in currency, if the currency loses value, prices remain higher. That's pretty much it. Now, why am I talking about the fundamentals? Because tomorrow is Fed Day. And Fed is expected to cut rates by 25 bips. Some people say 50. I think 25, if you have to ask me. But the key will not be the 25 of the 50. The key is going to be, what is Powell going to say? That's it. As usual. Because if the market is pricing 90% 25 bips, and then you get 25 bips, it was already priced in. And also, I can tell you, the major players in Wall Street, they already know what's going to be the decision well before you do. And we've been seeing quite a bit of rally. So I wouldn't be surprised at all. First of all, the Fed days is always very volatile days, even the week. So not just the day, but also Thursday and then Friday. It's going to be very volatile. Most likely. I mean, it's not guaranteed, but it's most likely. I don't care. Because the fundamentals, which is liquidity keeps expanding, is the key for me. So all of these things are short-term noises. Let's say that the stocks go down 5-7%, and that not on the day, by the way, I'm talking over the next 2 weeks, and crypto goes down 10%. Is that the end of the world? No. So it's all short-term noise. People get so emotionally attached to this. Now we have some good indicators. Number one, we had the number one indicator, which was Jim Cramer saying that September is a terrible month for crypto and stocks. So ever since he made that post, we've done nothing but go up. And now we have, and I saw that Crypto 7 also covered this, that Gareth SOLOWAY is now bearish. Now that's on Bitcoin in particular. Now that's very good, because this is the guy that has been bearish since I can remember, at least since 2023. That has been bearish, consistently bearish in Bitcoin in particular. He's also the guy that is famous for shorting Nvidia ever since the first pump. So basically, I think Nvidia has done what, 20x or something, or 10x in the past 3 or 4 years. He's been short all of them. Every single pump, he has shorted it, and he got completely annihilated. If you look at the comments on any video that he pops up, it's like 90% very negative. People that have been in his masterminds, whatever, or courses, or trading, copy my trades, whatever, all of them, or like 80% of them, if you go on Twitter or something, is negative comments. And what it does, usually, from what I understood, it's what it's written, right? Can I prove it? No, I'm not in the group, so I don't know. But it's that when people start challenging his terrible calls, people just get banned from the programs. So this is what I've been telling you. This is the specialist of the financial markets, unfortunately, which is basically his goal is not to make money trading or anything like that. It's to convince you that he's very good. So you buy whatever he's selling. That's it. Doesn't matter how. And he was advising people to short Bitcoin at 40K. I mean, it just pick. It's a disaster. So we have these two very powerful forces against it, which may mean that something good is coming. The point being, the conditions are actually improving quite a bit. Don't forget, and I think a lot of people are forgetting, as we approach May 2026, Powell's negative influence means less and less. So the market will start pricing in more and more a dovish Fed, and that will increase, in my view, as we move towards the replacement of Fed Powell. Now, I've seen a lot of people bearish, with Ethereum at 4,500, BNB is close to $1,000, and Bitcoin is at around close to 117,000 the time that I'm recording this. Do you remember a month and a half ago, 110K was very bullish, and now 117K, people are really pissed. I've told you this before. I think there's going to be a day, if I tell you right now, Bitcoin's going to go to 135K. Everybody here would be very, very happy. One of these days, I would say a few months from now, Bitcoin will drop, you heard the word, drop to 135K, and everybody will feel bearish. And they don't pay attention to what is happening. One day, I'll tell you something else. One day, Bitcoin will crash to 250K, and people will feel bearish. If I told you we're going to go to 250K, you're going to throw a party immediately. But this is the point, and there's nothing I can do about this. People will just see it for themselves in due time. 3 years, 1 year, 4 years, who knows? You're going to see this. In my opinion, we're going to see this one day. People are going to get pissed. I had a question a couple of videos ago, not my last video, but the other one before, I think. that I didn't answer. People were asking me, hey, I also like the Richard Art ecosystem. Which coins should I buy? Should I buy PLS? Should I buy PLSX? Should I buy X? What should I do? Look, first of all, you should do whatever you feel comfortable with. I'm not a financial guru. I'm not a financial advisor. You have many of those people, not just on YouTube, but also on the planet, like in physical presence. So if you want someone to tell you what to do, so go to them. You have thousands to pick from. I can tell you what I do. So what I do is very simple. Whenever I accumulate my positions, I buy whichever the coins. So basically, in case people don't know, you have X on Ethereum, X on Pulsechain, incentive token, PLS, and PLSX. Okay, so 5 coins. Which ones do I buy? I buy the ones at a particular time that have gone up the least or have gone down the most. And it has worked well for me. I'll tell you why. At some point, EX, so X on Ethereum, was completely out of favor. Guess what? Now it's pumping the hardest. There was a time where Pulsex was being traded for Pulse quite ridiculously, I thought. At some point, I think I remember I saw Pulse, one PLS was 3 PLSX. And now, after all this sell-off, 1 PLS is still 155 PLSX. So basically, even after all of this, PLSX gained a 2x versus PLS. Then there was a time where PLS was really underperforming, so I bought a lot of it, and now it's outperforming. There was a time that incentive token was, nobody wanted it, and guess what? From bottom to top, it was the one that did the best. And then after some point, everybody wanted it, then it dropped a lot, and now I see that nobody wants it again. So now, if I had to say which coins are out of favor at the moment, PLSX and the incentive token. So what I do is I buy a little bit more of those. In the past, it was EX and PLS. Nobody wanted them. So I accumulated those. So to me, it's very simple. I don't know which one's going to do the best, and I don't want to guess. So what I do is I think all of them will do fine, will do very well. That's my point, the way that I think. And then what I try to do is, this coin has been battered really badly, so I'll just buy that one. Or that coin has pumped not so much, some of these other coins doubled, etc. And this coin is not really doing much, so maybe I'll buy it, because one day I think this will run. And it's exactly what's been happening. There have been periods where EX and PLS does very poorly, and the other 2 or 3 do very well. And then there are time periods where the other, PLS and EX, right, like now, are doing better, and the other one's doing worse. So why guess? I don't guess. Simple. That's my approach. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. It has worked for me, and that's what I plan to continue on doing. Now, does that mean that you should go out and start buying it? No. It means that that's what I do. What you do, I don't care. But since somebody asked me, I just thought I should reply. And with that, guys, we are progressing within the cycle. I know it's been boring, it's been slow. We all know it. We are all waiting for the same things. We all need that business cycle to really pick up. We really need some better data to basically so we can start pricing in more cuts and more liquidity coming into the system. That's the key. All else is short-term noise, in my view. And with that, thank you very much for support, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.